Is this low-key the most powerful superhero we've ever seen in cinema history? Hancock, played by Will Smith. Now, there's a lot of deliberation on what the origin of this being is. Are they angels? Are they aliens? Are they like Superman? Or are they something different?
By the way, this was one of my favorite movies as a young child. You feel me? I really fucked with Hancock. Just because I was like, nah, he different. You feel me? He getting drunk and really fucking shit up. But everybody still love him fakely. But he just a superhero, real shit. He didn't even need the people's love because he was that nigga.
Entirely. Well, we might have known because there was a sequel that was going to be developed that would have delved into their origin, a prequel of Charlize Theron and Will Smith's story. That would have told us what these beings are exactly, but it never happened. And now with rumors swirling around that Will Smith is casting Zendaya in the sequel, maybe to take over the throne as his daughter.
That would have been tough.
Which I definitely don't want to see ever. I decided to go back into the world of Hancock because this is probably my favorite Will Smith character besides his character Detective Schooner or whatever he's named in I, Robot. Right. He is the most relatable character in fiction. And I don't care what people say about I, Robot. Yeah, sure, who cares? It might be a disgrace to the book. People say it sucks compared to the book. I don't care. I don't care about books. This is one of the best movies ever, and I might make a whole video on it, and how Sonny the Robot is a based Chad. Now, back to Hancock. I love this movie. Does it have problems? Yes.
Also, Will Smith had a run that was goated. Will Smith, if he never did the shit he does now, he might have been, like, he literally was, like one of the top, like, he's, like, Denzel level.
It does.
Like, the nigga was getting only good roles.
I love this movie from the...
He's a strong-ass actor, real shit. I'll never take that away from that nigga, you feel me? Obviously, just right now, he might be lost in his life or something, but shout out Will.
Moment I noticed that this is basically what if Superman was drunk a lot. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. This isn't Homelander who's just a psychopath and killing people like Brightburn. No. This isn't that. This is just a dude who's an asshole. Don't call him that, otherwise you'll get your head put into another man's ass. But he's a douchebag. He has a very uncaring attitude towards things. Whenever he saves people, it literally costs the world millions of dollars in public damage. Every single day. That's who he is, and people hate him for it. They go off on him for it. He can't form a real relationship with anyone. Every time he tries to hook up with a girl, he'll kill her. If he lets himself go, he'll kill her. When he jizzes it's like a high caliber machine gun. It'll take her head off clean. This guy can't form real relationships with people. No one can relate to him. No one can physically be with him. And Jason Bateman plays a PR guy who's trying to bring charity to different organizations and companies who don't want it because they just want to make money. But when he goes to Hancock, he's like, Hancock, we could actually make your public image better. We could actually make you a full-on superhero. And this is a brilliant idea. A PR guy offering his services to a superhero who's facing public ridicule.
Great movie, bro. Great movie. That's a great concept, by the way.
That's freaking awesome, bro. The Avengers could have used Jason Bateman so that Civil War couldn't have happened.
He ain't tell not one lie.
Use Jason Bateman so that Civil War couldn't have happened. Alright? Civil War 2016, that movie wouldn't have happened if my boy Jason Bateman, who's awesome in this, by the way. His facial reactions to shit that goes down is some of the funniest ever. They needed him. So Hancock says, okay, fine. I'll give myself up, go to prison, and look like the good guy, even though I'm going to shove people's heads up their asses, alright? I'm not going to escape prison, even though I can in 2 seconds, which I'm so happy that a movie showed how easily a being like this could escape human confinement. And he decides, okay, fine, I'll put on a suit and try to be a superhero. And you know what? There's success there. People start liking him again.
The suit is tough, too.
The only problem is her. They're always a problem. Especially when they look like Charlize Theron. See, she's the wife of Jason Bateman. And part of the reason I find Charlize Theron so attractive, besides the fact that she looks the way she does, is she reminds me of Michelle Pfeiffer from Scarface and even Batman. I had a massive, smoldering crush.
Every time I hit a bottleneck, I build a new AI employee to crush it. I used to say that I had one AI employee working for me 24/7.
On this woman, Michelle Pfeiffer. She's one of the hottest women of all time in her prime, okay? And who could resist those eyes? Will Smith sure can't. The problem is she's Jason Bateman's wife. But there's another even more massive problem than him just being horny for her, which any man would be. The issue is they're both born to be together. they are both the same being, same species. She's just like him, just as powerful, even more so, maybe. Essentially, if they were to get close to one another physically, over a long period of time, they would start to lose their powers and be vulnerable to being killed. That's the issue. When they're apart, they're as powerful as can be, they're gods. But together, oh man, it gets bad. Now, when this twist happened, this is the thing that'll divide fans. Okay, because this is arguably the thing that stopped this movie from being as great as it could be, according to people. I hated this twist when I first saw this movie. I despise it. The fact that Hancock's story is now getting overshadowed by this love story. First of all, the fact that these two are in this position, morally, this is kind of questionable to the audience, because Jason Bateman is a dude helping Hancock, who's also her husband, and she's doing this shit. And when they go off to meet each other secretly, so she can explain to him what's going on, she dresses up like this for no reason. Why? Why did she throw Hancock across the street, causing so much structural damage when she knows she has to keep everything low-key? It's like the characters start doing things that are just stupid. Besides that, a lot of people would say, this is so corny.
That was wrong.
Oh, if we're together, we're weak and we have no powers, but apart. Oh, in a movie like this, it can come off like really cringe out of nowhere romance.
It definitely did when I was like, I just rewatched this movie actually, I would say a year ago now. But like, I was definitely like, bro, because I don't remember the plots. When I watched something so young, I just remember it being a good movie. I don't remember the exact plot of what happened. And I was a little bit like, what the fuck? Like, really?
Unfortunately for me, I think the reason that I don't like this is because there's two clashing tones that this movie has. In one sense, it's an R-rated superhero movie. Maybe not like Deadpool necessarily, but this dude shoving dudes' heads up people's asses. He's jizzing and his jizz is like bullets flying into the roof. Like, this is an R-rated superhero flick. And then axes are being used to cut people's hands off in a hospital. But then it goes from that to like this rom-com, like a chick flick almost, with some Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibes going on, except with superpowers. So it feels like two different movies at once. What I will say is, while this bothered me before, it bothers me less now that I know the twist is coming. And ultimately, I still think it doesn't completely ruin Hancock's story. It just takes away from... I like the first hour of the movie more than the second hour. Even though there's a lot more shit that happens. I'll give the second hour this. There's some badass action scenes. The scene in the convenience store. The scene where he's throwing people through hospital walls. This dude kills two people in the final fight in the hospital. He goes there. That's how crazy this final fight gets, alright? This was happening before Man of Steel and Homelander were on the big screen, okay? This happened before we saw superpower beings truly get violent in live action. Hancock was throwing people out of buildings before these two motherfuckers came on screen, alright? Now the only question I have is, how strong is this man? Well, he's...
Y'all don't understand. When we scale him, we can't put him with other niggas. You feel me? We don't understand that. We don't understand where his strength comes from. Real shit.
He's got pretty much all the powers you would associate with someone like Superman. Strength, speed, flight, durability. Now he's got Storm's abilities too. He's got weather manipulation. We saw Charlize Theron literally whip a tornado at him, shoot lightning, like all this stuff. We can assume that Will Smith just hasn't developed these powers because he lost his memory or whatever. His weaknesses is Charlize Theron. Can you fault a man for that? Really? I understand you, bro. His weakness is...
Bro, this nigga a fiend, bro. He said, I understand you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, he got me dead as hell with this basketball. I ain't gonna cap.
Charlize Theron. If you put those two together, it's over. Keep them apart, this guy's practically indestructible, alright? Now, let's look at all the superpowered beings we've seen in a similar context. Brightburn, basically evil Superman. Hancock destroys this man. Rips him in half effortlessly. Now, that's kid version of Brightburn. Adult Brightburn might be the devil. This guy might be the Antichrist. Because he's got lasers, telepathy, telekinesis, flight, all that stuff. He might be a different level of entity. Do not let him find Charlize Theron. The world will end at that point. Homelander gets so badly destroyed by Hancock, y'all have no idea. The problem with Homelander is he's in a show that ultimately doesn't show his true feats, and Maeve made him bleed. I'm sorry, Maeve is not doing shit to Hancock. She's breaking her hand on his jaw. You're getting your head torn off, Homelander. Let's talk about Soups. Oh man, here we go. Let me put it this way. I think Man of Steel Soups gets beaten. Because when I see their reactions to getting hit by bullets, in Man of Steel, it was very clear Zack Snyder at that point was trying to make a realistic Superman, because the Kryptonians are getting hit with bullets and their faces are going like this, right? They're covering a little bit. You know, Superman's getting nuked and shit. That's one version of Superman. Then there's the guy who comes back from the mother box and Zack Snyder decides, fuck realism, I'm going full comic book soups. He whips the Justice League's ass and makes Steppenwolf look like a bitch, pretty much. I think this guy pretty much beats Hancock. I think that's fair to say. Now, when it comes to the origin of Hancock, they remind me a lot of Hawkman and Hawkgirl from like DC, where they're both...
That's actually what I was thinking of. Where like the whole prophecy thing with like... Because I remember Hawkman and Hawkwoman, they always end up like getting together and like dying and shit. And I think that's kind of the same thing. They reborn and shit whole time.
Both like two lovers that are destined to be together, that are reincarnated every time. You know, every time they die and shit. Like, it's a very similar type of thing. Which makes me think, like, what are they? Are they aliens? I always thought they were connected to the crystalline alien from Chronicle that gave the characters their superpowers. You know, that being that emitted this alien radiation that gave them powers and seemed to be a creature in and of itself because it's growing organic veins. I thought whatever race made these, or maybe them themselves, built the Hancock beings and used the radiation here to make them. You know, the characters from Chronicle, they're durable, they have flight, they have telepathy. Now, yes, they have different powers than Hancock's, pretty much, but there's similarity happening with weaknesses. Like, whenever they use their powers, like, one of them would start bleeding, and they would sense the other person. Like, I just thought there was a connection there. It doesn't make any sense. I just love Chronicle and want to connect it to everything. I don't think they're aliens. Are they angels? Charlize Theron in this does say people have called us aliens and angels. You know, they could be demigods. Hancock and Mary embody an ancient pair bond concept. It's revealed that they were created in pairs. When they're together, they become mortal. Alone, they're immortal and godlike. They're surviving demigods from an ancient civilization, Sumerian, Egyptian, once the protectors and rulers over humanity. But their pairings and sacrifices cause them to lose memory of their true origins. So each time they fall in love, they'd grow mortal, risk death, and survive, only to be separated again, and sometimes with severe memory loss. I don't think this is the first time he lost his memory. I think it's happened before. The other theory is they were
100%. I feel like they said that too in the movie.
Bioengineered or magically forged by a long-lost civilization to be humanity's guardians and fail-safes against extinction. The creators bound their immortality to isolation to prevent them from becoming tyrants or power-hungry. So when two guardians, basically, bond too closely, they become human, breakable, and forget who they are. This is like a built-in reset button. This could be like one of the most high IQ plays ever. Whoever these ancient beings were that wanted to preserve humanity, all you gotta do is show Will Smith Charlize Theron and he's done. Like, that is a perfect, bro. Using lust and love to ground to people, that's a very reliable.
On God, though.
Well, thing. That really is. These two people who are built to be together, and that's the only thing that weakens them. That's a high IQ play. Making Will Smith the only one who can save humanity because Charlize Theron chooses to be with Jason Bateman. I am so glad it happened that way, and it wasn't the reverse. Because I don't mean to sound like anti-woke or any of that. I'm not that kind of YouTuber. But let's be real, if this film was made today, Charlize Theron would be the one being the hero at the end, and Will Smith would probably be in jail or some shit, I don't even know. That would go down, y'all. That would go down. So I'm happy with this.
I ain't gonna lie, that is kind of fast.
The way this ended in hindsight. Now, there was a prequel in development for the sequel story that would show Mary and Will Smith's stories before this film setting. In fact, it would actually delve into their origin a lot more and who made them. And we never got it. And now apparently we're getting Zendaya, who's gonna be Hancock's daughter. I fucking despise when Hollywood does this wolf and cub shit because they just don't know how to write anything original. Oh, Hancock's gonna pass the torch to his daughter in this story and probably protect her until she's powerful enough to protect herself. Bro, what is this stupid? Bro, this is like a shittier Logan. I don't want it. I don't want the story, okay? That's me personally. Those are my thoughts on Hancock. I love Hancock. I love the movie. And more so than the movie, I love the character and the concept he represents. And I think the idea of a PR person reaching out to help a superhero, I think that in and of itself is a good, perfect superhero movie before the Charlize Theron pair bond love shit. All right? Those are my thoughts on that. If you want to know my thoughts on my favorite non-superhero, comic book related, super-powered film of all time, Chronicle, you can watch this video over here.
Whole time, My thoughts on Hancock. I think Hancock was a great movie. You know what I'm saying? Even fuck all the other shit. Yeah, like they did have that weird parent shit, but I think that shit was A1. You feel what I'm saying? Real shit though. So, and I also liked Will Smith was in his bag. I ain't gonna lie, he just was in his bag at the time, so I can't take that away.
Love hard and make bad decisions. It's first Sunday, I'm still begging for Jesus. Can he save me from the fire and the Jezebel spirits? Got bad bitches walking through my thoughts like a demon. Will she take my semen, bear my seed? Can she